Welcome to VINDAL'S Academy. In today's lesson, we are going to be treating the number 3 question for Physics Waec 2023. And this is going to form a part of revision for your forthcoming exam. If you are ready, let's get started. And the question says, the projectile is fired at an angle theta to the horizontal with a velocity u. Show that at any point or at any time during the motion, the horizontal component of the velocity is independent of the time. Number 2, the vertical component depends on time. All right, this is a very interesting question, and this is how I want to handle it. And I am going to have this plane just to represent a picture of what happens when a body is thrown. Now, the body moves in this direction, this for example, and this is that direction of u. Because they mentioned u, yes, this is the velocity, u. This is the speed with which the body was launched, and this is the angle of the projection, and this is the point of projection, that is the origin, and this is the point where it hits the projectile plane. Let me call this place point A, and that is the point where it hits the ground. And this direction, this plane, I'm going to call it the vertical component, and this one is going to be the horizontal component. They can also form my Cartesian plane. Now let's get started. Now, why do we say that this velocity is independent of the time? That means time does not affect the velocity on the horizontal component. The question is why. Now let me explain. There is a formula you have in your physics textbook. This formula, and when I came to understanding the meaning of this formula, it was annoying because this is not the way it should be. Every direction should be stated. So I said that this is just a demo. Now when it comes to the vertical component, this formula is going to be Vy uy. This is the vertical component. When it comes to the horizontal component, this formula should have a different format, which is Vx ux plus or minus. Please, it needs to be plus or minus, and gx. Now gt, I mean, so this is the vertical component and this is the horizontal component. Just take it like this. Y represents the vertical and x represents the horizontal. Okay, just pass, don't worry. Now, okay, now, what is uy? There is something we call u. U is always called the initial component. Now, but we have what is called initial vertical component. Why this is called the initial horizontal component? The question is, in this context, what is this initial vertical component? It is the initial speed at time 0. At this point, when at the origin where time is equal to 0, we have uy or ux. Sometimes I call it u sub y or u sub x. Sometimes we call it u subscript y or u subscript x. Now, how do I get what that value is? If I resolve this is if I make a projection to the horizontal axis, and this is going to be, if I resolve it to the vertical, I resolve it to the horizontal. Then I'm going to have that uy to the vertical is going to be u sine